You do well to mistrust me, he answered, and with these words he caught both her hands and held them in his own, looking at her full in the face with eyes that flashed like jewels. Your instinct teaches you rightly. Would many like you to doubt me and repel me. One word, if, when I am gone, you ever think of me, think that I am more to be pitied than various paralyzed and starving wretch that ever crawled on earth. For he, perchance, has hope, and I have none. And when you pray for me, for you hold this to for I hold you to this promise, pray for one who dares not pray for himself. You know the words, lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Tonight you have been led into temptation, though you knew it not, but you have delivered yourself from evil, as only a true soul can. And now, farewell. In life I shall see you no more. In death, well, I have attended many deathbeds in response to the invitations of the moribund, but I shall not be present at yours. Perhaps when your parting spirit is on the verge between darkness and light, you may know who I was and am, and you may thank God with your last breath that we parted tonight as we do now, forever. He loosened his grasp of her. She fell back from him, pale and terrified, for there was something now in the dark beauty of his face that was unnatural and appalling. A somber shadow clouded his brows. His eyes had gleams in them as of fire, and a smile was on his lips, half tender, half cruel. His strange expression moved even me, to a sense of fear, and I shivered with a sudden cold, though the air was warm and balmy. Slowly retreating, Mavis moved away, looked round at him now and then as she went, in wistful wonder and alarm, till, in a minute or two, her slight figure, in its shimmering silken white robe, had vanished among the trees. I lingered, hesitating and uncertain what to do. Then, finally determined to get back to the house if possible without being noticed, I made one step, when Lucio's voice, scarcely raised, addressed me. Well, eavesdropper, why did you not come out of the shadow of that elm tree and see the play to a better advantage? Surprised and confused, I advanced, mumbling some unintelligible excuse. You saw a pretty bit of acting here, he went on, striking a match and lighting a cigar, the while he regarded me coolly, his eyes twinkling with their usual mockery. You know my theory, that all men and all women are purchased for gold. Well, I wanted to try Mavis Clare. She rejected all my advantageous offers, as you must have heard, and I could only make matters smooth by asking her to pray for me. That I did this very melodramatically, I hope you will admit. A woman of that dreamy, idealistic temperament always likes to imagine that there is a man who is grateful for her prayers. You seem very much in earnest about it, I said, vexed with myself that he had caught me spying. Why, of course, he responded, thrusting his arm familiarly through mine. I had an audience. 2 fastidious critics of dramatic art heard me rant and my rantings. I had to do my best. 2 critics, I repeated perplexedly. Yes, you on one side, Lady Sybil on the other. Lady Sybil rose, after the custom of fashionable beauties at the opera, before the last scene, in order to get home in good time for supper. He laughed wildly and discordantly, and I felt desperately uncomfortable. You must be mistaken, Lucio, I said. That I listened, I admit, and it was wrong of me to do so, but my wife would never condescend. Ah, then it must have been the sylph of the woods that glided out of the shadow with a silken train behind her and diamonds in her hair, he retorted gaily. Tut, Geoffrey, don't look so crestfallen. I have done with Mavis Clare, and she with me. I have not been making love to her. I have simply, just to amuse myself, tested her character, and I find it stronger than I thought. The combat is over. She will never go my way, nor, I fear, shall I ever go hers. Upon my word, Lucio, I said with some irritation, your disposition seems to grow more and more erratic and singular every day. Does it not? He answered with a droll affectation of interest, surprised in himself. I am a curious creature altogether. Wealth is mine, and I care not a jot for it. Power is mine, and I loathe its responsibility. In fact, I would rather be anything but what I am. Look at the lights of your home, sweet home, Geoffrey. This, he said, as we emerged from among the trees onto the moonlit lawn, from whence could be seen the shining of the electric lamps in the drawing-room. Lady Sybil is there, an enchanting and perfect woman, who lives but to welcome you to her embracing arms. Fortunate man, who would not envy you? Love, who would? Who could exist without it? Save me, who, in Europe at least, would forego the delights of kissing, which the Japanese, by the by, consider a disgusting habit, without embraces, and all those other endearments which are supposed to dignify the progress of true love. One never tires of these things. There is no satiety. I wish I could love somebody. So you can, if you like, I said, with a little uneasy laugh. I cannot. It is not in me. You heard me tell Mavis Clare as much. I have it in my power to make other people fall in love, somewhat after their dexterous fashion practiced by matchmaking mothers. But for myself, love on this planet is too low a thing, too brief in duration. Last night, in a dream, I have strange dreams at times, I saw one whom possibly I could love, but she was a spirit, with eyes more lustrous than the morning, and a form as transparent as flame. She could sing sweetly, and I watched her soaring upwards, and listened to her song. It was a wild song, and to many mortal ears, meaningless. It was something like this, and his rich baritone pealed lusciously forth in melodious tone, into the light, into the heart of the fire, to the innermost core of the deathless flame, I ascend, I aspire. Under me rolls the whirling earth, with noise of a myriad wheels that run ever round and about the sun. Over me circles the splendid heaven, strewn with stars of morn and even, as I, a queen, and of the air serene, float with my flag-like wings unfurled, alone, alone, twixt God and the world. Here he broke off with a laugh. She was a strange spirit, he said, because she could see nothing but herself, twixt God and the world. She was evidently quite unaware of the numerous existing barriers put up by mankind between themselves and their Maker. I wonder what unenlightened sphere she came from. I looked at him in mingled wonder and impatience. You talk wildly, I said, and you sing wildly, of things that mean nothing and are nothing. He smiled, lifting his eyes to the moon, now shining her fullest and brightest. True, he replied, things have meaning and are valuable, have all to do with money or appetite, Geoffrey. There's no wilder outlook, evidently, but we were speaking of love, and I hold love should be eternal as hate. Here you have the substance of my religious creed, if I have any, that there are two spiritual forces ruling the universe, love and hate, and that their incessant quarrel creates general confusion of life. Both contend one against the other, and only at Judgment Day will it be proved which is the strongest. I am on the side of hate myself, for at present hate has scored all the victories worth winning, while love has been so often martyred that there is only the poor ghost of it left on earth. At that moment my wife's figure appeared at the drawing-room window, and Lucio threw away his half-smoked cigar. Your guardian angel beckons, he says, looking at me, an odd expression of something like pity mingled with disdain. Let us go in. End of Chapter 29 of The Srrws of Satan.